This is Personal SEO's tutorial on building out a WordPress website using Elementor and using iHomefinder's OptExpress plugin for real estate agents, how to SEO and optimize a real estate agent website and all of that jazz. So one of the major things with websites for real estate is that we want to show listing information. We want that listing information to be indexable. We want the listing information to show as content, and we want to show as many listings as possible on a website to help with that. So one of the first things that we need to do is this site is literally just launched. It doesn't really have any content. This is all placeholder stuff. Nothing works. Nothing works on this site. Is that we wanted to build out the featured neighborhood section first, and that's because Portland is such a large area. We want to build out directional pages to cue visitors in on what section of Portland they're going to look at. I also understand that the neighborhoods inside of, for example, Northwest Portland will also be subpages of this parent of Northwest. So this video is just how to create the parents and a couple of child pages, and the fastest ways that I have discovered to do that, which is important on a brand new site like this one. Again, everything's just launched, nothing works. We kind of have to go through and do everything all at the same time. And so saving minutes and doing things, copying and pasting a whole entire bunch. Control C and Control V are your friends. Not so much the left click, but you'll kind of see some of that in Elementor as well. So as I said, you see the site. There's not even a menu on it, and most of the things don't work. We're going to build this out. This will take a couple of videos just kind of to go through and how to do everything on a site. So I wanted to focus today specifically on the featured neighborhood section because that's going to bring in the most visitors the quickest and provide with the most ranking the fastest as well. Again, leveraging listings or MLS information to show as content on the website. So the tools that we like to use, or the plugins that we like to use for this, are fairly simple. If they are not installed on your WordPress platform, I would suggest them. One is disable Gutenberg, and that's because I hate Gutenberg. Two, if you're using Elementor or Divi, disabling Gutenberg would be beneficial just because you're already using a quote-unquote builder to build your website. So the conflicts with Gutenberg would just be nullified if you just disable it. So disable Gutenberg is one that I install. Duplicate page is important because when you have a page layout the way that exactly that you want it, then just duplicating that page over and over again helps with speed. Elementor is the builder that we're using. Elementor Pro is because we have a Pro version. Avanto Elements, we subscribe to Avanto Elements. This allows you to have template kits installed or to pull in images directly off Avanto. We just like it. Optima Express IDX plugin is iHomefinder's plugin. It's already registered and optimized. Rank Math is the SEO plugin we use, and the template kit import is an item that we use as well. This doesn't actually need to be there because it's part of the Avanto thing, so I'll actually just leave it alone. I'm not going to talk about security plugins or caching plugins with this. This is just the base plugins that we tend to start with the website. With some MLS plugins, conflict with Rank Math, or Rank Math conflicts with them, you could switch to Yoast. It's just kind of up to you. We just like Rank Math. Okay, so you're logged into the back end, go to pages, and then you can just click on pages or go to all pages. It takes you to the same place. These are all of the accessibility stuff, the areas page, which hasn't been created, but then we get to North Portland and Northwest Portland. There are a few things that you could do in kind of any order. One of them would be to either start editing the page now or edit the page with the menu. And this seems like I'm kind of bouncing around. If it does seem that way, then just trying to communicate, any order is okay. So here's the the North Portland page, and there are some edits that I've already done on the Northwest Portland page, and that's just increasing the width to go from edge to edge with a little bit of padding, and then decreasing the menu, allowing a little more content images to flow. Again, this is just your style. I'm going to do the same thing really quick on the North Portland page, just so that you kind of get the idea. So either from the all pages section or from how I just did it, just hovering over this and then right clicking on view and hitting open a new tab, this will bring you to that page. If you hit edit with Elementor, which is exactly the same thing I'm going to do, it's going to take you directly to this page. So again, based on speed and your workflow, you can move and adjust this all the time. The main thing that what we are trying to do here is one, I want to make this full width. So with Elementor, that does use right clicking. So you can just regular click or right click and choose edit selection. Normally on web pages this doesn't work, but on the Elementor builder it does. So I'm going to click up here, and all I'm going to do is change this to full width. And then the other thing that I noticed is that this sidebar over here seems to be fairly large, so I'm just pushing it over to put neighborhoods down on the second line, and that is the entire thing. The other item that I'm going to add, I'm just going through this just in case you have to build a whole page by yourself, is I'm going to add a row. I'm going to do a full width row, so then you see this blue section again. I'm going to click on this item, the dots right here, and then change it to full width. And that changes this to full width. The next item next thing I'm going to do is click and hold, and drag this up to the top. I will save this. I'm a saving fiend, so every time update's available, I'll click it, and then I'm going to drag the text editor into this section. The main thing that I want to do here is I want to add breadcrumbs to certain pages, but not all pages. I don't know a great way to do this inside of Elementor. If it was Divi, it would be a totally different conversation. So now you see where it says rank math breadcrumb, and again, I'm just doing this for a couple of times because we're just going to duplicate these pages over and over again, so you shouldn't need to actually do anything after this is saved. So that's kind of the quick edit. So that's the edit that I wanted to make before I started duplicating the pages, and the reason being is that if you spend your time creating one page and then just duplicate that page over and over again, you will it'll go a lot faster. So now I'm going to click on a view page. So here are the breadcrumbs right here that we added. Here is the other items on the thing, and then the menu. So pretty simple and straightforward. Northwest looks exactly the same. So things that you can do in any order are as follows. So one, you can duplicate the pages now that we have the two parent pages correct. And two, what you can do is, if you look at the site as a whole, is that we are going to be creating all of these parent pages. So again, it's your choice. Do you want to create all the parent pages first, or do you want to start building out everything first? Either way, it all has to be done, so I don't care. So let's, for example, do Northeast, since it's fairly easy. Now, when I say let's do Northeast before we duplicate the page, again, you could do this in any item. The one thing that needs to be created that isn't in the pages, and before you duplicate anything or after you duplicate anything, you need to create a menu. So for creating parent pages like North Portland, South Portland, Southwest Portland, before you create those pages, I advise that you go to Appearance and then go to Menus, and then create a new menu. Again, you could do this in any order. It's just, in my experience, how I work, I tend to do this first. And then you kind of go through and go, oh, okay, we're going to do Northeast. So I'm just going to type in Northeast, and Northeast is that way correctly. So I will fix the other side. Just hit Create Menu. And so I hit create a new menu, typed in Northeast, and then hit save menu, and then it's blank, and that's totally okay that it's blank. We'll go back in and edit this as we move along. Now that the menu is created, and again, you can literally just sit here and create all of these menus right now and then move on. So it just depends on how you want your workflow to work. Either you can create all the menus, or you can create all of the areas inside the menus, and then so that's best guess. Before I start a new parent one, I tend to create the menu first, pages, and then go back to all pages. Now, since Northeast isn't created but Northwest is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this duplicate this. And that will duplicate this Northwest Portland page directly into a draft, and it's the same exact page. Now the next thing that I would do is click edit, and then just change it to east. At this moment, what I'm looking at is over optimization. So I see by Portland Homes, and then I see Northeast Portland. If I'm Google, how many times do I need to say Portland here is going to be an issue. But I'm explaining the city of Portland and directionality. So I'm going to leave Portland here. However, I don't want a child to have Portland in it at all. And the reason why is because I don't want to say Portland, Portland, Portland. So like it says Portland here, it'll say Portland here, and on a child, it'll say Portland one more time, which I think is a little too much. You can type in homes for sale, which is fine. And then copy that, and then go ahead and paste that in the key phrase, edit the snippet, and then paste that here as well. Then you will see it turn up to 51, which is fine. Then hit publish. Now, again, order is everything with organization and laying this out. By adding homes for sale, it's going to add the homes for sale down here. I want homes for sale in the title, but I do not want it in the URL. So I'm going to erase the dash and then homes for sale. Another way to do this would be to just type in Northeast Portland and not type in homes for sale, then hit update or publish, and then come back in and paste in homes for sale, and then do all the other homes for sale stuff below. That same exact order, you just kind of do it in a different order. So again, change the title, and then hit update, and then add in homes for sale, and then go back in through this and add homes for sale there. It again doesn't matter, just as long as it looks somewhat like this. Homes for sale is not in the URL at all, and that you can go ahead and click edit and then remove the homes for sale section. Now, after that's saved and updated, we're going to click on edit with Elementor. Then this really just comes down to replacing all of the information from northeast to northwest. So again, you could just double click here and then edit on this side, or you can edit directly over here after you click. You could just edit it that way. That's not a big deal. So again, I'm just editing the northeast, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to edit east. Again, it's just, I don't want you to get caught on which one you have to do. It just has to, whatever order you want to do it in. There's always that freedom. On the menu side, however, go ahead and edit the navigation. Again, clicking on it or right clicking on it, it doesn't matter. What you need to do is just change it to northeast, and then go ahead and hit update. The last and final thing that we need to do is we need to create the MLS information needs to be fixed, because all of this information is for Northeast Portland. So in iHomefinder, and you can get there by going to the dashboards of your WordPress, clicking on Optima Express and then IDX Control Panel, and that will take you directly to this page. I'll actually do it. What you notice is that I have a whole bunch of tabs just to bounce and move around things in. So now that's automatically logged in, we click on markets, and then it'll list all of the markets listed, and then you would just hit add a new market. These are searchable, so Northeast Portland homes for sale. Just make sure you use the correct title, and then we do polygon search. Now, when I do polygon searches, what I tend to do is I tend to try and cheat as much as possible. And the reason why I do that is because it's more important for me to save time than it is for me to reinvent the wheel. So on this other window, I'm going to Madden Real Estate Group, and this person has a whole bunch of websites. So this is one of the websites that he's using. We're adding more to them. So I'll go here. And since, again, all of this information is done and I don't want to reinvent the wheel, I'm just going to go to Northeast. And on the Sierra site, what I'm going to do is click on Map, and which is already selected. It saves it based off of a cookie, and then I'm just going to back off a little bit to see the whole entire northeast section of Portland. I'm going to drag this onto another screen because you don't need to see this, but just know that on the other screen I'm looking at this box and going, okay, this is where to draw. So I drag that off onto the other screen, and then here is the iHomefinder map. I'm going to back off a little bit. And then again, I'm just looking at the other screen, and I'm going to try and draw the same box that is there. And I'm not going to be perfect, and I'm not worried about perfection. I'm more worried about getting listings inside of it. And yes, there are going to be false positives, but again, it's nothing to really worry about so much. So once you get it zoomed in or zoomed out enough so where you can draw the type of box that you need, if you actually start drawing just like I did, you could just press escape and that will go away, and then you can double click and start drawing again. So okay, now it's making a liar of me. Oh, just click start over. Okay, there you go. Now I could start drawing. So I am going to, again, just best guess it all the way across the board. It's right there. Okay. So right there, and then again, I'm just going to draw this box. And I may go a little wider than they have, which will cause a little more false positives, but I really don't want to draw little arrows. So I'm just going to widen it out just a little bit, and then go all the way across to this island over here, and then come back up. Into the water is fine. Into the water is preferable when you're drawing maps, and then connect them. And so, for example, you see this map, and then you see my map. My map's a little more square. I don't do the little jogs. I just go directly to the thing. And I understand that this section may not be northeast Portland, but I want properties to show, so I'm actually okay with that. If you want to get nitpicky, you can just edit this and make it match exactly. But for time, and since we're just building out a website, I don't want to be that nitpicky. So I'm going to leave all of the other areas exactly blank, and then hit save. Okay, the only thing that I care about is this information right here. So I have a notepad open which has the shortcode already done. So all I'm going to do is just paste in the new number. Now when I edit the page of Northeast Portland, I have to replace this shortcode from iHomefinder with the one that I just created in Notepad. Or you can just remember the number and type in the number. Again, it doesn't really matter either way. However, do not just right click and copy this number, then come over here and paste it into here. I'll do it just so that you see what happens. You think it would go fast, but it doesn't. It adds in all of this because it copies over all the code. The other way to do it, I'm going to hit Control Z. And Control C doesn't work, so that whole thing sucks. So the other way to do it would be to erase the H1 tags that it adds. If you erase all of this, then the code will work just fine. You can just click in the text here, find the number, and highlight it between the quotes, and then paste it into there, and then that will be fine. I do find it, however, faster just to use Notepad, change the number, and then go from there. For some reason, my brain doesn't work in Elementor that well, or I go a little bit slower because I'm trying to be more exact. If it's a Notepad, it's fairly easy to do. So again, I'm just copying and pasting from iHomefinder into Notepad and then copying that same shortcode over into Elementor. It's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and hit update. If it says we're experiencing issues or problems, that's a caching issue. It'll actually go away, so you'll be fine. And then hit exit, or you can hit view page. So you see that, sorry, we're experiencing issues, but when the page is viewed, it actually views just fine. The reason why there isn't anything in the menu on this side, you need to go back at the very end, and again, this is all order, so it just depends on the way that you want to do this. So if you go back to the dashboard, and if you're looking at the website, you could just go up here and click on dashboard. You go back to the dashboard, go back to pages, and then, I'm sorry, you go to appearance and then menus. And then Northeast Portland Homes for Sale, you add into the Northeast site. The other things that I like to do is I like to just remove all of the key phrases, so it's just directional, and then hit update. Now on the Northeast page, there will be the Northeast option, just like it is in this option where it says North Portland. It'll just say Northeast. Again, you can kind of play with how you want to do this. Just because you have to communicate to the user what's going on. At the same time, you don't want to over optimize the website. So yeah, North Portland is done. I think if I just go, I could just type in East up here because we created this page. Nope, the Northeast Portland page is not that. So that's how you would add that. So let me go back in Northeast Portland. Where is it's Northeast Portland Homes for Sale, which is what I really don't want. Something just to verify. We would go back into edit page, and I swear I hit edit on that and hit edit here, and then change and remove the homes for sale. We don't want to have homes for sale on a parent page. We only want to have them on the child pages. So for example, when we build out Alameda, then I want Alameda Homes for Sale, and that will be a child of Northeast Portland. I could be wrong, but you kind of get the idea. So that's how to build the entire website. Is one, we do quick things by using duplicate this to duplicate the pages as quickly as possible. You can see that we're using listings as content. The only content on this page is listings. So we have a better chance of ranking when we come back and add content. It'll be easier to get this up closer to 100. 90 is actually really good in rank math. 90, this right here would be green in Yoast, but it is only yellow in rank math. Rank math pushes you to do better SEO, in my opinion. So that is the whole entire thing. So again, you have multiple ways to do the same thing. It is about organization and things that you like to do. So for example, you can create all of the menus, and then you can create all of the parent pages, and then you can create all of the sub items, the child pages inside of the parent pages, or you can do you could do just North and get all of North done and then go down the list. It really just depends on your type of workflow, but all of the other, by duplicating the pages over and over again, it actually saves you a whole bunch of time. This is how to build out byportlandhomes.com. It's a brand new website. Personal SEO is building this out with their staff, and this is a video tutorial in anyone using WordPress with Elementor and iHomefinder, what plugins and programs to use, and the fastest ways to build out community sections so that this site can start ranking today. Have a good day.